minute. In 1889, the Pittsburgh Gazette said that there were 40,000 people living in Jerusalem. 40,000 in Jerusalem, 1889. And they said 30,000 of them were Jewish, and most of the others were Christian. And so the Bible indicates that it's the Edomites who moved in later on, but Jews have been in Israel and in Jerusalem for 3,000 years. They've been in Canaan for 4,000 years. But hold on a second. We'll be right back to you, Jules. But they've been continuous in Jerusalem for 3,000 years. When the Ottoman Empire controlled that area, they tried to pay money to get people to settle there, but it had become all barren as God had prophesied, and nobody wanted to live there. As far as an apartheid state that you're stating and everything, the UN set that up because God wanted them back. You know, God, this is the whole idea of prophecy. God saying, the whole world is going to be fighting against Israel. You're not going to like what I'm doing. Tough. I made you. I created you. I hold your DNA together. One thought of mine, he says, and you don't exist, all of you human beings. I wiped out the entire human race for your horrible sins with Noah's flood once, and I'm going to do it basically again, he says, because you don't want truth. You don't want to recognize where it is and that prophecy proves my existence. But go ahead, Jules.
Okay, what I'm trying to establish is who are these people that are occupying Israel right now?
Okay, well, let's answer that question. That was another point you put in there. They are, the controlling interest was given to Jews. People as far back as they know, they were Jews. For instance, my grandparents came from Russia and Poland. Everybody in my family is Jewish. As far back as we know, they're Jewish. Now, hold on. Historically, we know that both in 70 A.D., when the Romans scattered the Jews all over the earth, and then again in 125 A.D., when there was still a sizable number there, Rome came back and really finished the job. The Jews have been scattered throughout the earth. And so God said he was going to bring them back in the latter days, a miraculous event. I mean, so many nations want to be brought back to their homelands that have been scattered. I mean, the American Indians would love to get rid of all the others, the Europeans that came here. So for you to say that they're not Jews, well, what's the proof that they're not Jews? Just because they came from where they were scattered? How do you prove that they're not Jews? In fact, the interesting thing is, there's a chromosome, the chromosomal test that will show who's truly Jewish, and it links up all the Jews, whether they're from Europe or those who stayed there. But go ahead, Jules.
People are Khazars that came from Germany, some area between the Caspian and the Black Sea, which is Khazaria, something like that. And these are Khazar Jews, which are really not
Prove it. Send us the information, and we'll show it on the air. Prove it. You're just making a wild, crazy statement that I've heard one or two people say.
They adopted Judaism as their religion, but they're really not Jews.
Well, are there any Jews in Israel?
Well,
are there any Jews in Israel? Jules?
Well, I'm trying to find that out. I know the people.
Well, these people have been working. You know, either they must have converted. You can convert. Hold on, Eric. You can convert to Judaism, Jules, and become Jewish. And so these people all think they're Jews. They worship the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They consider themselves Jews. Everybody who stayed in Israel all along the centuries considers them Jews. So, but you don't, and you don't have any evidence. But make one more point of something different. Let's not go on with that until you can provide evidence, because anybody can come up with anything. So go ahead, Jules.
No, I'm talking about the bloodbath, the massacre that they're committing, the atrocities that they're committing upon those people over there. Do you go along with that? Do you think God is in that?
Well, certainly some things that are, have happened that we wouldn't like happen. But wouldn't you admit that the constant, in Islam, it says that, we were talking about that before the program began, and Muhammad said that in the end days, rocks are going to cry out and say, there's a Jew behind me, come and kill him. Muslims will have to wipe out all the Jews in the end times. And so that religion, which is a false religion, is shown by the Dead Sea Scrolls and everything, that the Bible was not changed as the Muslims teach, and there's no fulfilled prophecy one after another, like there is in the Bible, that it's not true, it's not from God, it's from what God says originates with deception from another sphere, from the evil one, and it's not true. So you've got Muslims who, in their Quran and Muhammad's teaching, they know that they're taught that Allah hates the Jews and Christians. I can show you that. I've got a Quran here. That Allah hates the Jews and Christians. And so it's a religion that preaches a hatred against them, that they must be wiped out. And now that Islam had that territory, there's another teaching in Islam that if you own a territory, you must get it back because it's holy, and now it's being really adulterated by these other people. And so this religion of Islam that started 600 years after Jesus walked the earth says that the Bible was changed by the Jews and Christians, which the Dead Sea Scrolls prove clearly was not. The Dead Sea Scrolls date back 600 years before Islam. Clearly shows that the Bible it says the same things in the Bible we have, not what is quoted in the Quran. And so it's false. It's been, they come up with a false religion. So the fact that Israel's trying to protect itself, I mean, when they became a state, they were immediately invaded, and they killed Arabs. I guess maybe that was an awful thing. That's stretching it a little bit. But over the years, there are these suicide bombers. They are serving God. They came into Israel, they blew up buses. Maybe you forget. They blew up buses. So Israel set up these walls and these checkpoints, which are harsh things. You can't come in anymore with your bombs. We're going to actually do this horrible thing. We're going to check your baggage to see if you're a bomber or if you're wearing a suicide belt. Isn't that awful that we're going to do that? You're going to have to wait in line for hours. Isn't that awful that we're going to do that to protect ourselves? And so the world gets this whole viewpoint that Israel really shouldn't protect themselves. I don't understand that, but maybe you've got a clearer explanation, Jules. Jules,
yeah,
are you there? Gone. Jules left. Maybe he felt that was too much to answer. I don't. Jules, you can call back if you have a response to that.
Yeah, he's trying to figure this thing out, Mike. It's like, my lineage. Where did I come from? How do I know that, my grandmother on my mom's side was from Poland and her mother was from Poland, and exactly where they came from? There is a lineage tree out there. That's how you know you're a Jew. Your dad knew his dad, and his dad knew his dad, and on it goes.
We mentioned the Pittsburgh Gazette said in 1889, 3/4 of the people in Jerusalem were Jewish. Well, most of them probably had stayed there for centuries and everything. They don't question these other people, some of whom may have converted, but who cares? They all consider themselves Jewish now. People grasp at the strangest things to get out of a situation they don't like, rather than trying to see if this is true, the Bible.
Yeah, I don't know if he was quite doing that, but the fact is, Israel became a nation as God foretold in 1948. Whether they're of Jewish lineage or not, the country of Israel became a nation. To what? Fulfill prophecy? The UN was behind the backing of fulfilling prophecy so they can prove that God exists. The UN doesn't want to acknowledge God. Why would they want to make Israel fulfill prophecy? I don't think that's what it's all about.
We're going to show this next section of film, so you guys can call in again after that. We have someone online. By the way, one of the guys said that Jules mentioned he was a woman. I couldn't tell by your voice. My apologies, Jules. Paul, you're on the line. What would you like to share with us?
Oh, yeah, Mike and Jay. Yeah, I just happened to tune in and heard some of the conversation. I mean, the tactics used by the Zionists when they went into Palestine were deplorable. They committed cultural genocide on...
Okay, hold on there, Paul. Hold on. Okay, when the Zionists went into... Well, my understanding is that the UN, that the majority of nations, and especially in the Security Council, whatever, voted after Hitler had tried to wipe out so many Jews, after the Catholic Church had been wiping them out on and off over the centuries and treating them like second-class citizens and calling them Christ killers, throughout the churches, when Jesus himself, going again against God's word, where Jesus says, no one takes my life, I lay it down voluntarily. I have power to lay it down and I have power to take it up. So you're saying that the Zionists went in there and started killing, No, the UN put them in there because of the guilt of the world. and because God's involved.